After half a year of dating, my boyfriend's controlling nature became too much, so I used an internship as an excuse to break up. A month later, 2 lines appeared on the pregnancy test. Bracing myself for a beating, I decided to tell my mom. When I got home, I found my ex-boyfriend sitting on the sofa, smiling at me. My mom patted my butt. "Quick, call him uncle." Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful novels every day. Now the story begins. What? I widened my eyes, staring at the man on the sofa with his slim waist and long legs, only 6 years older than me, my facial features twisted in disbelief. "Mom, are you sure? How the hell could he be my uncle? My grandma never told me she had a son." My mom chuckled. "Silly child, he's not blood related. His dad and your grandpa were comrades in the army. The two families are close, but he's been abroad all this time. So you've never met him." Shinemo is a biology professor now. Right, so impressive. My Ching Ching is also studying biology. How about letting her intern at your research institute? My ex-boyfriend adjusted his glasses, his deep black eyes glinting with an ambiguous smile. Of course, I'd welcome her, but I already asked Ching Ching, and she refused. My mom was stunned. "You've already met." I stayed silent. "Met? We've got a baby together." Shinemo had just returned to the country half a year ago and gave a lecture at our university. I fell for him at first sight, pursued him relentlessly, and finally made him mine. My mom poked my arm. "Your uncle won't treat you badly. Why didn't you go?" "Mom, you called me earlier saying you'd arranged an internship for me. I didn't know it was with him. If I'd known, I wouldn't have used that lousy excuse to break up. Now, he's here. What do I do?" "That's fine. Rest at home for 2 months, then follow your uncle. Strive to contribute to the country and bring honor to the family." Honor? In 2 months, when my belly shows, it'll just be shame. Originally, I thought Professor Shin was handsome, had high IQ, and good genes, so maybe I'd keep the baby, but now I have to call him uncle. My mom can't find out about the baby. My mom was still chatting with him. "Shinemo, you're 28 and still not married. When I was your age, I already had Ching Ching." "Sis, I'm in no rush." "How can you not rush? Your age is the healthiest for having a child." "Ugh, stop talking, or I'll drop dead right here. Why is my life so bitter?" "No, the baby has to be taken care of secretly. My mom can't know. This bastard came at the right time. If I don't extort a few $100,000 from him, I won't be able to swallow this anger." I shot a murderous glare at Uncle. He remained calm, stepping forward elegantly and boldly wrapping his arm around my shoulders. "Sis, I didn't prepare a gift for Ching Ching this time. Since she's back, I'll take her out shopping." My mom beamed, saying to him in front of me, "It's fine to go out, but don't spend money on her." Behind my back, she whispered to me, "Be bold and ask him for stuff. He's loaded." "Thanks, really." My own mom, at the mall. I stayed silent, my face dark. His arm, which had been around my shoulders, slid down to my waist once we left the neighborhood. I pushed him away the entire way, but he didn't budge, instead looking amused, as if we were just flirting. "What's wrong? Not happy to see me?" He leaned in, his eyes a little mischievous. "Stop," I halted. "Let's settle our old scores one by one. First, we broke up. Professor Shin, please let go of me." Shinemo not only didn't let go, but tightened his grip. He leaned closer, his breath brushing my ear. "First, the so-called breakup was just a text message. I never agreed. Second, your excuse was long distance after the internship, but soon you'll be interning at my research institute. That reason no longer exists." Damn, I've seen shameless people, but never this shameless. "Second, Shinemo, I have to call you uncle, even if we're not blood related. The generational gap is there. Do you have no shame?" I raised my fist to hit him. He caught my wrist, and then he licked it. I froze, my hair standing on end. "Your reactions are still so cute." His smile widened, especially with his glasses and slightly narrowed eyes, reminding me of a manga villain. Indeed, should I call her sis or mom? I almost cursed, but my upbringing forbade me from swearing at elders. I took deep breaths, but still couldn't hold back. Shinemo, Professor Shin, little uncle, I'll fucking kill you. This was the first time I'd sworn in front of him, the usually elegant man. Unsurprisingly, turned grim. He stared at me, his expression growing stern. Darling, as your elder, I should punish you for such language. Damn, that look, that expression. Did you secretly read hentai? Why are you so perverted? He shrugged. Didn't you share it with me? Don't you like me like this? When did I share that? He suddenly realized, his smile growing even more terrifying. Oh, so it wasn't shared with me. You were secretly reading it yourself. Darling, did you forget? Your tablet is logged into my Apple ID. Damn, I remembered now. Back then, my roommate told me the outside world was exciting, and I wanted to explore, but I didn't have a VPN. I thought Shinemo, having studied abroad, must have a foreign account, so I borrowed his. Shinemo continued to expose me. Didn't you know that browser history is shared across the same account? My face burned, my voice trembling. Why you? How much did you see, however much you watched every night? I saw it all, including you bragging online about your boyfriend having 8-pack abs. Damn, my face was completely lost. I wanted to crawl into a hole. Shinemo smirked smugly. So I really don't understand why you wanted to break up. You bragged about me being handsome, tall, strong, and a high IQ professor. So, what's not to like? Your possessiveness is too strong. I told the truth. He was extremely jealous. And as a STEM major, my class was full of guys. He'd interrogate me daily, asking if I'd sat with any boys. Since dating him, my weekends never involved other men, not even delivery guys. On Friday nights, he'd treat me to a fancy dinner, then take me to his apartment, only sending me back on Monday for class. At first, it was blissful. I was intoxicated by our time together, but then I accidentally stumbled upon a Yandere manga, and it scared me. From then on, I started imagining what if he really was a Yandere. Gradually, I couldn't help but want to escape him. His smile faded, and he straightened up, staring at me intently. The aura around him became overwhelmingly oppressive. Jiangqing, I can satisfy you in every other way, but not this one. Did you forget? You were the one who pursued me, and before we started dating, I already told you I'm very possessive. I hate others touching my things, let alone my person. That intense stare made it hard to breathe. Shinemo, a breakup isn't a one-sided decision. From now on, I'll treat you as an elder, an uncle, but not a boyfriend. I expected him to explode in anger, but he was calmer than I thought. Fine. I respect your choice. I hope you don't regret it. Okay, uncle. I was brave during the breakup, but when I heard Shinemo was staying at my house for half a month, I panicked and found an excuse to stay at a friend's place. Originally, I planned to extort a few $100,000 from him using the baby, but now I didn't even dare tell him, because I saw his search history on the tablet. 2 months ago, he'd searched, "Do women become more obedient after pregnancy? Best ways to conceive," and other similar keywords. If he found out, he'd definitely use the baby to trap me, but going to the hospital costs money, and he should foot that bill. I called him, and unsurprisingly, he answered instantly. It seemed he still couldn't let me go. If I reached out, he'd eagerly hand over the money. Hey, uncle, he paused, then asked, "What's up, uncle? Can you send me 10,000? I spent it on in-game purchases. I'm starving, and I don't dare tell my mom." He was silent. After a while, "What game costs that much? Do you think I'm an ATM? Clean up your own mess. My money is only for your future aunt, uncle. Come on, 3000 is fine too, uncle." Beep, beep, beep. Great, he's grown a spine and hung up on me. Before, every call was filled with sweet nothings, and he'd linger even when I wanted to sleep. What a heartless man. Or has he found someone else already, even though we've broken up? I couldn't help but feel a pang of jealousy. What did he mean by future aunt? I tentatively texted my mom, who told me, "Your uncle's on a blind date. The girl's a beautiful genius. Damn, I haven't even found a new boyfriend. How dare Shinemo move on so fast?" I was depressed. I couldn't sleep for several nights. Online, they say you can get prenatal depression, but I'm nowhere near giving birth. Can I still get it? What's worse, I couldn't figure out how I got pregnant in the first place. Staring at the tablet, I couldn't sit still. I heard that if iCloud is enabled, I could sync his phone's content, right? I know it's not right, but I couldn't help myself. In his photo album, there were many screenshots of our chats. "Miss you so much. Have dinner with me after class tomorrow. Since and I want kisses. Shinemo, you're so perfect. I want to marry you." Seeing these screenshots felt like a punch to the heart. I remembered blushing and giggling in my dorm bed while texting him. Back then, we were so sweet. Just as I was getting sentimental, a photo of a beautiful woman appeared at the top. It was recently saved, probably the genius my mom mentioned. I was stunned. She was really pretty. Her nose was a nose. Her eyes were eyes. I couldn't help but wonder what Shinemo was chatting with her about, but I didn't dare log into his QQ, as it would notify him. While I was hesitating, a few more chat screenshots appeared in the album. Opening them, I saw the woman complimenting Shinemo. "Professor Shin, you're so handsome. Just my type. You look like my future husband." How cliché. Shinemo wouldn't like such a bland confession, but a voice in my head screamed, "You're just jealous." If he didn't like her, why would he screenshot it? And he'd even nicknamed her Darling. He never gave me a nickname like that. Mine was 350G, the weight of a heart, a biological romance. Then, I saw he'd deleted all our chat history. Damn, I sat up abruptly. "Shinemo, you've got guts." Moving on so fast, another photo appeared, showing the woman inviting Shinemo to dinner. The location was a high-end restaurant on the 5th floor of the nearby mall. I thought, fine, I'll pretend to bump into them and decide the baby's fate. In the upscale restaurant, I hid behind a menu, peeking at the well-dressed couple not far away. The woman was even prettier than in the photo, and her outfit was sexy. I lost. Shinemo wasn't even wearing his glasses today and had styled his hair. He once told me he only dressed up for special occasions with me. Liar. He's got nerve. I haven't even moved on, yet he's already flirting with another woman. I gritted my teeth, stomping my feet in frustration. A waiter approached, asking for my order. I glanced at the menu. Even water cost 40 yuan. Panicking, I pointed. "I'm here with someone, uncle." I ran over to Shinemo. His smile froze mid-conversation, and he turned to me, his gaze inscrutable. "You're here." His tone made it sound like he expected me. I didn't know how to respond, so I greeted the woman first. "This must be my future aunt. So beautiful." The woman smiled. "Thank you." Her thanks made me glance at Shinemo. He seemed indifferent, gently introducing me to her. "This is Lan Jie's daughter." Then, his tone turned cold as he addressed me. "What are you doing here?" "Need money." I felt lost for a moment. Did I need money? Yes, but that wasn't the only reason. "How much?" Shinemo pulled out his phone. "At least 3,000. I'll give you 5,000. Don't disturb my date." He transferred the money instantly, and my phone buzzed with the notification, but I felt incredibly uncomfortable. It felt like I was being dismissed, pushed away. Yeah, I'm the ex-girlfriend. An ex-girlfriend showing up in front of the current girlfriend is bound to be disliked. I left with my tail between my legs. I had just taken one step when I heard the beauty behind me say, "Shinemo, you're so generous. She's not even your real niece, and you're giving her so much. Aren't you afraid she'll ask for more next time?" I lost my composure. In a fit of pique, I turned around and retorted, 5,000 is a lot. If you knew he bought me Chanel bags and Van Cleef Arpels necklaces, wouldn't you be insanely jealous?" "Jiang Qing." Shinemo suddenly called my name, his eyes looking a bit strange. To me, it seemed like he was blaming me. The beauty's face instantly turned extremely ugly. "Even if I'm not Shinmo's ex-girlfriend, I'm still his friend and his niece. Why should I be sneered at by a woman I've only known for a few days? I looked at the beauty, then at Shinemo. You've only known each other for a few days, and you're already taking her side. I felt extremely sad. Uncle, are you worthy of your girlfriend? Shinmo's brows were trembling. He stood up and grabbed my arm. Go wait for me at the door first. I'll take you home. What home are we going back to? I had even been thinking these days about whether to keep the baby. No way. I shook him off. Professor Shinemo, I came here today to give a message from your ex-girlfriend, she said. As long as the money is in place, she won't bother you in the future. As for the child, a child without a father shouldn't be born. I gave Shinemo a hard kick, then ran away, no matter how much he called me from behind. I just quickened my pace and didn't look back. I sat on the stairs in the 5th-floor fire escape and cried. Shinemo kept calling me, annoyed by the noise. I blocked him. I knew I shouldn't have made such a scene during his date, but I was just sad and jealous. Why could he say he loved me and then forget so quickly? I wanted to go home, but as soon as I stood up, a liquid gushed up from between my legs, accompanied by a suddenly intense dull pain. I couldn't stand still and almost rolled down the stairs. I reached my hand under my skirt. My ears buzzed. Help, where are you? My best friend called me. I was so scared that my voice was trembling, and tears were streaming out. Yo, I'm bleeding. Damn, you're not having a miscarriage, are you? The half-closed door of the passage behind me was suddenly pushed open. I never expected Shinemo to find me. Both he and I froze. His gaze swept over my buttocks. I instinctively turned around and covered the bloodstain on my buttocks with my hand. Hello, Ching Ching. Hello. Yao was still shouting on the phone. It's a bit slow to call 120 now. My boyfriend and I are nearby. We'll drive over right away. Hold on, Ching Ching. His face visibly turned pale. You're pregnant with mine. But I took precautions. His voice was trembling. I was so sad that my voice was tinged with sobs and a bit hoarse. Are you denying it? Precautions aren't 100% effective, I admitted. He picked me up and ran. His long legs jostled me around, and I felt the blood flowing even more profusely between my legs. It hurts. I covered my stomach. His hands were shaking as he took off his coat and covered me with it. Hold on, it'll be quick, very quick. He was more excited than I expected. Even his eyelashes were trembling. I've seen many sides of him, but I've never seen him like this. He seemed very scared. What was he afraid of? Afraid that I'd cling to him. Is that why you asked me for money? You don't want this child. His voice was a bit breathless. Yes, why? I didn't look at him, filled with grievance. If it's kept. What do you think the child should call you? Dad, or great uncle? Jiang Qing. He was annoyed. I'll say it again. I'm not your real uncle. He took deep breaths, his breathing heavy. He probably knew he shouldn't lose his temper with me at this moment, so he restrained his emotions and said softly, bear with it. We'll be there soon. My nose felt sour as I looked at him. Do you really want this child? Yes. If you had to choose between the child and me, which one would you save? He seemed a bit speechless. It's not that far yet. Answer. Shinemo looked at me, his expression very serious. Yes, I want the child, but the premise is, this child must have a mother. My heart suddenly trembled, my nose still sour. I said, Shinemo, I'm telling you, neither I nor my baby can have anything wrong. Okay, do you know what it feels like to be extremely embarrassed? I was okay. But Shinemo almost ruined his reputation as a biology professor. He carried me and ran, shouting, hurry up, she might be having a miscarriage. Save her and the child. I want both mother and child to be safe. As soon as the nurses heard this, they immediately pushed a bed and took me in. After getting in 4 drip and a thorough examination inside, the result was my period. How could it be my period? I was shocked. I felt so embarrassed. Shinemo also muttered to himself, how could it be her menstrual period? The doctor was speechless. Did you take a pregnancy test before? Yes, 2 lines. I frantically defended myself, holding up 2 fingers. Yao, who had rushed over, also spoke up for me. I saw it too. It was indeed 2. We both suddenly stopped and looked at each other. 2 hours later, Yao Yao was hugging me and crying her eyes out. Damn it, how could I be pregnant? I was drinking and clubbing yesterday. I stroked her hair to soothe her. During that time, Yao Yao's period was also late, and we took the test together. Shinemo was sitting upright beside me, looking very tired. His hair, which was originally styled, was now a mess on top of his head. As he had been running his hands through it, he lowered his head, constantly pinching the bridge of his nose with his fingers. After a long time, he finally said softly, "Can you come home with me now?" It was so embarrassing that I couldn't come up with an excuse to refuse for a moment. On the way home, neither of us spoke. The atmosphere was too strange, so I had to break the silence. "What about your girlfriend? Aren't you going to take care of her?" He took a deep breath, as if gritting his teeth. "There's no girlfriend. The woman just now, she was scared away by your mention of the child." I felt sad again. "What? Are you going to blame me for ruining your relationship?" We arrived. Shinemo parked in the garage, then turned to look at me seriously. "Ching Ching, in your eyes, am I such a man who changes his heart easily?" "You clearly are. You even gave her a special note." I immediately shut up, almost blurting out that I had peeked at his chat history, but at the same time, I realized something. Wait, that chat record wasn't. Yeah, I deliberately took a screenshot for you to see. I just wanted to know if you really didn't love me anymore, or if it was just a lover's spat. So, he got out of the car and opened the door for me, nodding and smiling. "Yeah, I'm sure now. You still love me very much." Pfft. I immediately retorted, but my heart couldn't stop pounding. My mind was like a mess at this moment. As a result, I almost instinctively took his hand and let him help me out of the car. My cheeks were burning hot. His hand was tightly holding mine, and it was also very warm. "Ching Ching, make up." Before entering the elevator in the garage, he led me to an unoccupied corner and put his arm around my waist. After making such a scene, I was really too embarrassed to look at him. He gently twirled the hair by my ear with his slender fingers. It was so itchy, even my heart was itching and trembling. Okay. Suddenly, he kissed me passionately. 10 minutes later, he straightened his tie and walked out of the corner full of confidence. His face seemed to say, "I'm satisfied," written all over it. As for me, I was so kissed that I couldn't utter a single word. All I could think about was what to do about the hickeys on my chest. I couldn't let my mom find out, at home. When my mom knew I was back, she specially cooked a lot of delicious dishes. "Shinemo, have a chicken leg." Ching Ching loves the chicken legs I make the most. My mom picked up a chicken leg for Shinemo. Shinemo gave me a meaningful look and smiled. If my mom could cook like you, sister, I'd probably wake up laughing in my dreams. Huh. I wish I could have a son as outstanding as you. By the way, are you and your mom getting along okay? Fine. I'm serious, sister. Your cooking is so delicious that I want to be your son-in-law. Cough, cough. The rice suddenly choked out of my nose. Slow down. No one's competing with you. My mom patted my back, but then her hand suddenly froze. She tugged at my collar. What's going on here? My mind instantly went blank. Help. The collar of this pajamas was a bit loose, and my mom saw the hickey. I looked at Shinemo for help. He pushed his glasses and said naturally, "She did it with a straw," imitating those short video people, trying to give herself a hickey. He's a professor. For God's sake, how could he come up with such a ridiculous story? If I were to give myself a hickey, why not do it on my neck? Even more ridiculously, my mom believed it. She slapped my shoulder. "Afraid others will laugh at you for being single?" I nodded helplessly. My mom leaned in. "Hey, there's a classmate in your school who's nice to you, and he's from the same hometown. He even sent you home." Mom, I was terrified. I saw Shinmo's eyes widen. Such dangerous words shouldn't be said. He stood there like a statue for a few seconds, then his face showed a gentle smile, but his eyes were extremely dangerous. "Ching Ching has a close male classmate in school. How come I don't know?" "Aw. Girls are shy. It's normal not to talk about it." My mom slapped the table. Once, Ching Ching couldn't get a taxi to go back to school at 12 o'clock at night, and that boy drove to pick her up. He went all the way to the airport to pick her up at night and then escorted her to the door of the girls' dormitory. Such a nice boy. Mom, stop talking. Yo, the girl is blushing. So shy. It wasn't shyness that made me blush. I was clearly scared. I could feel Shinmo's eyes stabbing at me like knives without even looking. I put down my chopsticks. I'm full. I'm going to my room to organize my things. I slipped away. I hid behind the bedroom door and eavesdropped. My mom was still gossiping to Shinemo about the boy and me. I didn't need to think to know I was in trouble. Before going to bed, Shinemo sent me a message. A close male classmate escorted you all the way to the girls' dormitory door. Your mom also said that boy often invites you to dinner. Jiang Qing, you're a woman with a boyfriend. Can you show some respect for me? I felt like crying but had no tears. We're not married yet. I could already imagine the expression of him almost spitting blood on the other side. Honey, listen to me explain. Fine. For the sake of you calling me honey, I'll listen to your explanation. Ugh, I typed. This was a year ago. I didn't even know you at that time, and then... Don't you know what happened later? Shinemo sent a relieved emoji, then dialed a video call. I heard my mom's voice. Shinemo, have some fruit. No, sister, my girlfriend is calling me. Scared, I quickly got under the covers, trying to deceive myself. Shinemo was lying. It was clearly him who called. My mom probably thought Shinmo's girlfriend was that beautiful and smart girl. She even teased, Yo, have you made it official? When are you going to propose? On the video, Shinemo looked happy. Soon, I'm still thinking about how to talk to my future mother-in-law so that she'll agree. My mom laughed. Our Professor Shinemo is so outstanding. How could she not agree? I'd prepare the dowry right away. Really? Shinemo had a mischievous smile from his angle. Of course. When have I ever lied to you? I couldn't stand it anymore. My own mom. Am I your daughter or what? Without even getting the betrothal gifts. You're already preparing the dowry. Shinemo waved his hand. Okay, sister. You can go out first. My girlfriend is very clingy. She can't do without me. I couldn't help it. Hearing the door close on the video, I lowered my voice and shouted, Narcissistic. Who's clingy? I'm clingy. Shinemo admitted it with a bit of pride. Then who can't do without whom? I can't do without you. That's more like it. But what about my relationship with Shinemo? I wasn't ready. I didn't know if my mom could accept the fact that my little uncle would become her son-in-law. I didn't dare to take the risk, so I ran away from home to do an internship, and I moved in with Shinemo openly, starting a co-living life. During the day, I was Shinmo's assistant, and at night, Shinemo was my Qing. I was wrong. Who would have thought that during the day, Professor Shin, who would put on a white coat in the research institute and act so cold and aloof, at night, he would be sitting cross-legged on the bed in his underwear, looking extremely, that little expression. I'm the one who I leaned against the head of the bed. How could our awesome Professor Shin be wrong? It's me who's wrong. I shouldn't have worn perfume to the cultivation room. After all, it was my first day on the job, and I dressed up a bit. Who would have thought that instead of getting an orientation, I was directly taken to the cultivation room, and then, Shinemo criticized me seriously. He said I was unprofessional. I knew I was in the wrong about this. But being lectured by my boyfriend was hard on my pride. Qing, I criticized you because of work rules. Research is a very serious matter to me, Shinmo said, his voice a bit breathless. I raised my eyebrows. I know, but what about now? Shinmo nodded seriously. Qing criticizing me is also because of the rules. This is our family rule. A husband can't be mean to his wife. I couldn't help but laugh. When did our family have this rule? Why didn't I know? I added it today, so. If I say something at work that makes you unhappy in the future, you can scold me back at night. I promise I won't fight back or talk back. So, can you forgive me today? Shinmo suddenly moved closer to me. Without his glasses, he had to squint to see clearly. This action, coupled with his smiling expression, was simply a foul. Obviously, he was saying the most submissive words. But his demeanor was like a hunter about to enjoy a delicious meal. My heart raced, and I gulped. It's not impossible to forgive you. You should serve me well, right? He suddenly kissed me, full of enthusiasm. Yes, ma'am, baby. It's time to get up, or your dean will get angry. Shinemo pecked my cheek. Then I remembered that today was the day Shinemo was invited to give a lecture at our school. It was the first time I attended a lecture at my alma mater as an invitee. Needless to say, I was quite excited, but I never expected that before I could even show off, this happened. Professor Shin, may I interrupt? The one speaking was a really young junior. His face was red, holding a piece of paper in his hand, looking hesitant to speak. Do you want an autograph? I asked instinctively. After all, after the lecture, many people came to Shinemo for autographs, but they were all girls. This was the first boy. Shinemo stepped forward with a gentle and refined smile, taking a pen from his breast pocket. Just as he was about to take the paper, the junior actually dodged, and he looked at me with an expression like he was holding in urine. Sister, I like you. He stuffed the paper into my hand, then turned around and ran. As he ran, he shouted, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed. What the hell?" I was stunned. I glanced at Shinemo. His face turned as green as a radish, and the muscles at the corners of his mouth were trembling. She's my girlfriend, mine. Who would have thought that an elegant and reserved man could be like this? He actually used his long-legged advantage to catch up with the young lad. The young lad was so shocked that his lips were trembling. He had never seen such a scene. He looked like he wanted to dig a hole and hide in it, constantly apologizing. "I'm so sorry, sister. I didn't know you were Professor Shin's girlfriend. I always thought you were single." Where does she look single? In a hurry, in front of the young lad, Shinemo kissed the corner of my mouth. Even more outrageously, he bared his teeth at the other party. "See, we kissed. We're boyfriend and girlfriend." Shinemo, my face instantly turned bright red. I wiped my mouth and looked around. There are people all around, and many of them know me. Shinemo directly took off his glasses and rubbed the bridge of his nose. His beautiful, long and narrow eyes looked around unhappily. "I just want them to know that you have a boyfriend, so no one will come to show their affection to you." He really didn't care about his professor image at all. Many girls around were whispering, with expressions of disappointment and resentment. I couldn't help but laugh and was also a bit embarrassed and speechless. Several girls threw Shinmo's autograph into the trash can. I punched him lightly, smiling. "You asked for it. Now your female fans were gone. I have a girlfriend. What do I need female fans for?" Shinemo looked indifferent and directly put his arm around my waist and walked away. But this man still had the word melancholy written in his eyes until dinner time. "Baby, it seems you're very popular." He picked up a piece of meat with so much force that the chopstick stabbed through it. I swallowed subconsciously. "Oh, so, are you angry?" "I'm angry at myself." He put down the chopsticks and stopped eating. "I've been with you for almost half a year. Why do some people still think you're single? Is it because you're not happy by my side?" When he looked up at me, his eyes were extremely serious. "So I need to be even better to you, lest you be deceived by someone else. I'm not going to the research institute today. I'll buy you a few bags." Pfft. I couldn't hold back and choked on my tea. As expected of a science major guy, even his way of showing love is so simple and straightforward. "Shinemo, is your way of being good to me just spending money on me?" He fell into thought and didn't speak for a long time. I've told you that you're my first love. I learned how to chase girls and how to say sweet nothings from the comics you read." "Stop, don't mention those adult comics. I cared about my reputation, Jiang Qing. If I don't meet your expectations, you can tell me more directly. I'll learn." Seriously, looking at the handsome and earnest face in front of me, my heart almost melted, but at the same time, I realized something. Wait a minute, did you learn your Yandere traits from comics too? After all, some of his actions during kisses were exactly the same as those in the comics. I directly mentioned the name of a certain comic. He nodded. I learned a bit of that naughty tone. Don't many people say that girls like that kind of naughty tone? Help, don't learn, never. The female lead in that one has Stockholm Syndrome, but I don't, and the male lead locked the female lead up in the end. This kind of comic would be terrifying if it happened in real life. He smiled softly and moved closer, grabbed my hands, and kissed them in his palms. Don't worry, I'm not a child. I have my own consciousness, although I'm possessive. I know very well that if I truly love a woman, how could I bear to make her lose her freedom? I'm just very worried that you'll leave me, like my mother did. Shinmo's mother ran away with someone else. That's why he came back to the country. After I went home with my new bags, I shared with him some comics about too much pressure leads to breakage. The effect was remarkable. He was so afraid that I'd be like sand, slipping away if he held me too tightly, ever since he read those comics. He never interfered with my normal communication with other men, but he would still get jealous. For example, just now, I was going over a document with a senior in the research institute. Shinemo said, "It's okay, Professor Zhu is very good at cell research, you really should learn more from him." But then he went to get a glass of water and secretly stood by the water dispenser for half an hour. "Come out." Shinemo was stunned. "You saw me." I took a deep breath. "Dude, I'm not blind. Your size 43 feet are sticking out." He was embarrassed. "I'm not trying to stop you. The more he explained, the more it seemed like an excuse." He sighed and sat down next to me. "You're clearly my assistant, but today you spent the whole day in Professor Zhu's lab, and even when we got home, you're still going over the document with him. Shinemo, Professor Zhu is 50 years old, I know. I just mean it's already 11 o'clock at night. You should spend the rest of the time with me now." He put his arm around me, and using his body weight, he pressed me down on the sofa. Oh my God, his frowning little expression was a foul. For a moment, I wanted to kiss his lips, scared. I quickly grabbed his phone and checked his browsing history. Sure enough, he had read some comics about cute young boys recently. "Shinemo, that cute expression doesn't suit you. You're not the younger than you type, really." He raised his eyebrows, his voice very charming. "If it doesn't suit me, then why are you swallowing your saliva? Or is it that no matter what I'm like, you can't resist me?" Where did he learn such cheesy lines? Ching ching. "I'm getting married the day after tomorrow. I want to have a meal with you. Remember to bring your boyfriend too." Because of a text message from Yaoyao, Shinemo and I took a leave and went home. But who would have thought this place was so small? Shinemo actually ran into an acquaintance in the restaurant. I nudged Shinemo with my elbow. "Look, the little ant." "What little ant?" Shinemo frowned, then turned around. His smile immediately disappeared. "I've already deleted her, and I didn't agree to be with her in the first place." That beautiful and intelligent girl was having a meal with a man. Her expression was very ugly. She seemed to have seen Shinemo. Her eyes lit up, and she immediately ran over. She hugged Shinmo's arm right in front of me. "Shinemo, let's be together." "Okay." Shinemo almost jumped up from his seat, with an expression as if he would be allergic if he touched her. "Let go. I have nothing to do with you." The beauty immediately burst into tears. "I was wrong. I shouldn't have run away when I heard about the child that day. My parents forced me to go on a blind date again. And I don't like that man. I couldn't stand it anymore." "Beauty, can you stop pestering him?" The woman was probably in a hurry and snapped at me. "Can you have some manners? What are you interfering with between me and your uncle? Be careful, I'll tell your mom." I was stunned on the spot. I didn't even have time to react to what she said. My mind just went blank. What did she say? "No manners. I may not have a father to teach me." "But don't you have one either?" I was so angry that I wanted to curse, but before I could do anything, Shinemo actually picked her up and threw her out. Of course, the woman kept shouting that she would go and tell my mom. I was a bit dazed. I hadn't thought about how to tell my mom yet. Shinemo and I booked tickets for the day after tomorrow and decided to rest at home these 2 days. My mom was cooking, and I was helping wash the vegetables beside her. I asked tentatively, "Mom, if I want to find a boyfriend, would you agree?" My mom paused. "That's a good thing. What are the conditions of the guy?" I was nervous, raised my hand tremblingly, and showed a number. He's older than me, by 6, 7 years, afraid that my mom would guess it was Shinemo. I changed 6 to 7. My mom frowned. That's quite a big age gap. Have you thought about when to have a baby? After the pregnancy misunderstanding last time, I didn't dare to think about having a baby. I shook my head. I don't have that idea for now. I'm still young. Maybe in 10 years. No way. My mom immediately shook her head. In 10 years, how old will that man be? Will his body still be up to it? And, cough, sister, Shinemo couldn't stand it anymore and came over with an embarrassed expression. In 10 years, the man will only be in his 40s. What's wrong with his body? My mom shook her head like a rattle. Look at auntie next door. She had her baby too late. And the child has a weak body and gets sick often. I felt depressed. No one spoke during dinner, taking advantage of the time when my mom went to do square dancing. Shinemo and I took a walk to digest food and seriously talked about this matter. My mom doesn't seem to agree. What should we do? Don't worry, we'll think of a way. Shinemo comforted me. Who would have thought that we would run into an acquaintance while taking a walk in the middle of the night? Yo, isn't this Ching Ching? I saw it was Aunt Chin. Our neighbor, scared. I immediately kicked Shinemo and separated from him by a meter. Shinemo looked wronged. Aunt Chin, what a coincidence. I smiled. Aunt Chin looked at Shinemo with a motherly smile and whispered, is this your boyfriend? I heard from your mom that you're dating a professor, tall and handsome. I didn't expect him to be so good looking. What? I was shocked. Wait a minute. Did I hear wrong? I looked at Shinemo. He also had a stunned expression. Aunt Chin, what exactly did my mom tell you? Which professor did she mention? My question confused Aunt Chin. Your mom said you're dating a biology professor who studied abroad. Is it him? I saw Shinemo change his expression faster than turning a page for the first time in my life. He was stunned just now, but now he looked like a happy son, stepping forward gently and nodding. Yes, it's me. I'm Ching Ching's boyfriend. I just didn't expect my future mother-in-law to praise me in front of others. I'm a bit flattered. Pfft. Future mother-in-law, wasn't he calling her sister at night? Why did he change his words so quickly? My mom actually knew. This was beyond my expectation, but now that I think about it, my mom's reactions when talking to Shinemo didn't seem to be without signs. My mom said that if it were her, she would prepare the dowry for me right away. My mom said that if she had a son like Shinemo, she would wake up laughing in her dreams. I waited for my mom to come back from dancing at the door of our house. The light in the corridor flickered, scaring my mom. Kid, what are you doing squatting here? I was excited, but also a bit timid. Mom, about me and Shinemo. Did you know about it a long time ago? Shinemo stood behind me and called out in a slightly submissive voice, Sister, don't call me sister. My mom snapped. Just when I was wondering if my mom was angry, Shinemo actually changed his words with a smile. Okay. Mother-in-law. Oh my God. As expected of a man who has known my mom longer than me, I didn't even dare to act cute with my mom, but he dared. My mom pursed her lips, looking like she was thinking you have a sweet mouth, and then entered the house. As she put down her bag, she muttered, do you think your mom is a fool? I'm also an experienced person. I saw clearly the little expressions you and Shinemo had when you looked at each other. She came over and poked my forehead, then poked Shinmo's forehead. You too. You've got quite a nerve, flirting right in front of me. I couldn't help but chuckle. Mom, aren't you angry that I'm with your younger brother? Of course I'm angry, my mom sighed, but Shinemo is at least someone we know well. He's handsome and rich. If you're with him, I can at least be at ease. And if he treats you badly, I'll go find your great uncle and give his son a good scolding. I'll treat Ching Ching well. Shinemo nodded seriously. I couldn't resist and grabbed my mom's arm to act coquettish. Mom, Shinemo imitated me and also acted coquettish. Mom, my mom rolled her eyes so hard they almost went to the back of her head. I'm telling you, Shinemo, you won't be able to marry my daughter without $1 million or so. Shinemo actually looked delighted and knelt down on the spot to acknowledge the relationship. Mom, I'll come to propose with the betrothal gifts tomorrow. The end of the main story. Extra story. I'm Shinemo. Qingqing and I have been together for half a year. On the day she started her winter vacation, I prepared flowers and a ring to propose to her, but I didn't expect to receive a text message instead. She wanted to break up with me. Shinemo, I'm going to start my internship next semester. My mom arranged it through connections, and we'll be in different places. I don't like long-distance relationships. It gives me no sense of security, so let's break up. I had imagined that there might be conflicts between lovers, but I never thought that without even a single argument, we'd reach this final step. When I called, I found out I was blocked. When I went to her school to find her, she had already left. Why couldn't she just listen to me if she was afraid of long-distance relationships? I could go to her city. Couldn't I just compromise? In desperation, I used my connections to get the contact information of her home. When I dialed the number, I found that there was already a note on my phone. Qingqing's mom was actually my sister. Besides being shocked, I was actually a bit happy. At least, I could visit my sister as an excuse to have a good talk with Qingqing, but I was wrong. I thought she'd be happy to see me, but she wasn't. The long-distance relationship was just an excuse. She thought my possessiveness was too strong and that I was too clingy to her. This was the real reason she wanted to break up. Yes, I do have a strong possessiveness, but I had told her all about it because my mom said she loved me and my dad, but in the end, she still ran off with another man. But after going home, I also reflected on it. As long as she could come back to me, I wouldn't be as clingy as before. I'd try my best to give her enough free space, although she wanted to break up with me. Based on my understanding of her, she still had feelings for me, because when I kissed her wrist, even though she dodged and scolded me, her eyes still had the shyness she had when we were in love. Our 6-month relationship was genuine. As long as she still had me in her heart, I could take a risky move. I thought about the fact that Qingqing and I shared an Apple ID. I deliberately went on a blind date and hired the woman I was set up with for 4,000 yuan to act out a scene with me. In fact, I was very nervous. I wasn't sure if Qingqing would look at the screenshots I deliberately saved in iCloud, nor was I sure if she would go to the appointed place after seeing them. Fortunately, she came, but I never expected her to bring me earth-shattering news. She was pregnant. When I saw the blood between her legs, I was really terrified. I knew that the most important thing at that moment was to send her to the hospital. But I couldn't help thinking, how could she be pregnant? I clearly took precautions, but I believe in Qingqing. Qingqing isn't that kind of woman. If there really was a child, it would be a good thing for me. I had found a comic from my browsing history before. The male and female leads had a family of 3. After having a child, they became even happier. After reading it, I couldn't help but search for ways to make a woman conceive more easily. But I also knew that this kind of thing couldn't be rushed, and I didn't know if Qingqing liked children. What if she didn't? It would be a loss. But Qingqing actually said to me, Shinemo, I'm telling you, neither I nor the baby can have anything wrong. This moment was probably the most exciting moment in my life. I picked her up and rushed to the emergency room like crazy. While waiting in the corridor, I searched for how to take care of a pregnant woman and how to do prenatal education for the baby until my hands were shaking. However, the doctor poured a bucket of cold water on me. Qingqing wasn't pregnant, she was just having her period. It was another girl, Qingqing's best friend named Yoyo, who was pregnant, but at least my Qingqing came back, and there was still a chance for everything. I'll do everything I can to be good to her, and try to meet all her requirements. Now that things were settled with Qingqing, I was only worried about my mother-in-law. I probed my sister again and again to see what her thoughts would be if I became her son-in-law. My mother-in-law seemed quite satisfied with me, so my pressure was much less. It's just that Qingqing was constantly worried and looked flustered whenever she saw her mom, but I didn't expect my sister to be so smart. She had noticed something was up from the beginning and had already made plans for Qingqing and me. No, I should call her mother-in-law now, right? I'm getting married soon, in a few more months. I'll have to change my address to Mom. I remember my mother-in-law asking me, After calling me sister for so many years, can your thick skin as Professor Shin handle changing to mom? I replied, yes, honey, today is your speech. Do a great job. 1 year after getting married, Ching has made rapid progress in her research. She was even invited back to her alma mater to give a speech. Right after putting on her lipstick, she kissed my earlobe. Aren't you coming with me? Of course I am. But this time I'll be in the audience. This was the first time I saw her on stage. She was different from when I first met her. Now she was more confident and elegant. Not only was I infatuated with her, but even her juniors were looking at her with admiration. Hey, I heard this is our senior sister. Wow, this senior sister is so beautiful. I wonder if she's single. I'll go ask for her contact information later. I frowned, feeling unhappy. It's been a year since we got married. How could there still be people thinking she's single? I turned my head to look at the two brats behind me. I deliberately showed my earlobe and pointed at the lipstick mark on it. The brat was stunned for a moment, then took out a tissue from his pocket. Very kindly he wanted to wipe it for me. Scared, I quickly slapped his hand away. What are you doing? No good deed goes unpunished. Didn't you ask me to wipe it for you? I smiled happily. No, I just wanted to show you. This lip print was kissed by your senior sister.